Riot Games Arena, it's do or die. Let's welcome the first team in this elimination match. Give it up for Cloud9!
A team that is storied of always being so close to that next step, qualifying to an international. They haven't made that happen since before partnerships back in 2021. But here, another chance, another opportunity with a retooled roster to take down this 100 Thieves team and run the gauntlet that they've already been on 6 matches in a row.
Yeah, and here they are doing everything that they can to try and find success here. They're making the role swaps, making last-minute switches, and it is paying off for them so far, but it has to continue, especially after this match.
Yeah, Cloud9 have really come into their form in this tournament. The question is whether or not they can keep the momentum going against a very game and prepared 100 Thieves.
Now, let's bring out their opponents in this matchup, their NA rivals. Make some noise for 100 Thieves!
100 Thieves, they have so much to prove on the line. They have these 2 players coming in from Tier 2 from that TSM roster, and they've built such a strong roster with all these individual players, but they've slowed down a little bit within the last couple of weeks, but they're looking to kind of regurgitate a lot of that creativity to make sure they pull it out in the end.
For Cryo and Asuna, the players that were there last year, this matchup brings up memories. Cloud9 beat them in a very similar position to deny them a chance of making a run to Paris Champions. Now here, with new rookies around them, with a new game plan, a new coach, trying to redefine themselves against a Cloud9 who has gone back on players they've had in the past, is reiterated on the team that already exists. It's 2 squads that really stand in contrast to their offseason approach.
It really could only end this way between Cloud9 and 100 Thieves. Their journey, their paths have crossed so many times. Speaking of, though, where they're going to be fighting at, we got Pearl split, and if necessary, taking a trip over to Abyss. Emily, what do we make of these maps?
I'm really surprised that 100 Thieves haven't stuck with their permaban on Abyss here, kind of floating that, leaving that up for grabs, and we see it's going to be a 3rd map. But starting off
That's a bait.
That's a bait? You think that was a trap? Okay,
that's
well,
a trap.
They fell for it, almost. But no, I think starting off strong with Pearl. Cloud9 has looked really good on it in the past. You know, we saw that in week 3. And now with these new kind of comps and role swaps, I think that they're going to find a lot of success here. Still have that adaptation, still have that great mid-round calling from Zelsis, and it's up to 100 Thieves to put a stop to it.
Do you think they're changing anything up?
I wouldn't be surprised if they did.
I don't know. I think their comp is good. I feel like what Cloud9 tends to do is less so like wholly chop and changing compositions and generally just coming in with more specific game plans. But I also don't think it would be impossible for them to do it, especially with a weak turnaround. For 100 Thieves, though, I think my biggest questions for this team has been playing on the maps where they aren't running the Sage, Veto, that kind of combination. The maps where they are highly reliant on the solo waylay of Timo Tino. And I think Pearl, Bind, those are the maps that are the greatest example of that. And we're starting off with the brawl here, where I think a lot of pressure is going to be on Timo to show us that man who came in swinging to the start of this stage, was so absolutely excellent in his utility usage on that agent, and bring back to that form.
I think, too, it counts on I'm kind of expecting Cryo to be a big reason
especially
for why they let this. Yeah, exactly. Especially defense. A lot of those long angles that he could just hold it down with an op, especially if he is on that chamber or that veto. But this comp makes sense. I think this is the same comp that they played last time. Zelsis on the KO. He's been looking really good. I mean, last week on the KO, he looked really good, too.
Yeah, I love how many tools they have to set Oxy up with these KO comps. I think they did a great job there. And the Veto coming in for Cryo. That one is going to be really exciting to get to watch again.
Yeah, see, the one thing I'm looking out for here is when we see C9 play Pearl in the past, they're not scared to fight. I think it's going to be an absolute brawl for space here on this map, and it's whoever comes out on top.
Get ready for a barn burner, folks. This is going to be a good one. Let's head on over to the first pistol of the weekend, and to your casters. Here are Uber and Wyatt. Pick up your thunderstick, buddy.
To say this is an important match for both these teams, of course, would be an understatement. The last time that 100 Thieves and Cloud9 played each other, it was Cloud9 knocking 100 Thieves out in that lower bracket stage 2 finals, the matches that could have qualified them for champions. There's a grudge to settle for sure. No shortage of those here. And these 2 teams are still trying to reach for that spot in Santiago, but they know a literal world champion awaits them on the other side of this match. It's a long day. They've got to lock in, and it all starts on Pearl.
Sadly, for one of these two teams, they'll be going out in a similar position of the bracket that they always seem to go out in. Two teams that make us believe, make the fans believe, and come up so close, yet so short. We'll have to see who's going to be able to step up today, cross that mental hurdle, and continue their run. Starting on Pearl, where last we saw Cloud9, they had Demon1 playing Chamber, who was just torching the teams they went up against, Leviathan, and then against Envy in that crazy 2018 game where he dropped 1 million kills. So Oxy now filling those shoes.
Now, 100 Thieves were successful on this map against Loud. Pretty one-sided affair already, though. 100 Thieves in this pistol are deep onto that A side. Expect no different from this comp with that high mobility. Now they're down to a 2v2. Fragment going to force Zelsis out of the action. This is two of the only teams in Americas that like to play KO on this map.
Look at this flank coming through from Oxy. Obviously that trip is down. Cryo not alive. So you can see that Bang has to tend to this angle. Oh, that timing is sick.
Oh, he's Astral as well. He had his head turned in that direction. We're not able to recover. And there's Oxy. I'm sure, keenly aware of the fact that, Demon1 instead put on a great performance, especially on this map. He returns to the roost knowing he's got to continue to deliver that high level of play.
I think it's cool as well that it gets Penny in a position to just focus on playing Duelist. Here, 100 Thieves in a fair attempt on this site exec, but that's a nice little kill from Zelsis, actually. That little peek at the end, even things up.
Of course! Yes, sir!
Start with some energy.
Yep, Zelsis doing what he does, bringing energy to a team that I feel like these are the situations deep in the bracket where you need a guy like that who is going to have the unwavering confidence. I think at times C9 were lacking that in situations like this previous years. Maybe he'll be the recipe, just bringing in an old friend that really developed as a player with his time on Sentinels.
I think have just realized that Cloud9 aren't all that invested into A main, but they did leave Oxy there with an Outlaw. And so Timo ends up walking up into the line now. They'll try and flood in. Zelsis will be waiting through the middle part of the map as Cryo negated. Oxy finds a second before folding back here on 100 Thieves. Really have very little to show on this anti-eco.
Yeah, not a thing. That was clean and easy for Cloud9, but obviously if you're 100 Thieves, you can't invest a thing on these round twos anymore because the Outlaw is so prominent. You need to be able to get all of those heavy armors. Looking at the ult situation, nothing too crazy at the moment. Maybe Zelsis is getting close, Austin getting close, the two dueling KOs.
I do think for those fast hits, especially if you can get that A-main control, Null Command is going to be pretty impactful when it comes up.
And in terms of A-main, looks like we might have an early clash there, depending on how aggro C9 want to play this. No, they're just going to give it up after they're swamped by some early util.
100 Thieves do invest a flash there, just in case. Like the previous round, Oxy was posted.
You can see the rotations now from C9, heavily focused on A, with Oxy pushed up on B, and they have that trip over at the B side link, so...
No way!
Wow, down to 10 HP, but Cryo able to do that. And you can see the Tejo now rotating back towards B. Zeppa's on the move, and 100 Thieves might have a good opportunity now to get into this A site, but spread around the map. 1 minute to play with, no need to overcommit right now.
Yeah, Timo just probing there at A main. It never looked like a full commitment from 100 Thieves was in the works. Heavy armor really paying off for Cryo, still on the field and still now angling himself over towards this B side of the map. They know, of course, that they've got this chamber util dealt with, and Zeppa doesn't quite know where to put himself on B. He's the only player here and is concerned about maybe a rotate through mid.
Yeah, Vora does love to call on attack, show Timo in main, and then rotate back quickly to the other side of the map for a really big exec. You know, sometimes if they have the lurker there like Cryo, and oftentimes they won't even have him there. It's just...
And they've left this very late in the round, but it has paid off. Zeppa ended up drifting back over to the majority of the Cloud9 players, and so 100 Thieves get to dig themselves in with 2 players back towards Halls, I'd imagine, and even that mid presence. Keep your eyes on Bang here.
This is going to be difficult for C9, man down, but they do have a fair amount of utility to work with. That full kit on Zelsis, Penny with a ton of util, Zeppa with a lot of util. Missile's going to ring out back Halls, try and nullify that angle so they can get some space and fight. Great entry from Zeppa.
Ooh, Cryo not very healthy at 10, but still able to find yet another one in this round. It's wild how easily Timo was handled there. Bulldog kill of all things. Now, though, those longer range weapons playing towards B-Long itself. Going to make it pretty hard to get to grips with this spike, and Vic kind of knows it. He's perched up looking for exits at this point, especially with his Astra Util in the post plant. Nothing to be done here. Vic has to let this bonus go, and 100 Thieves emerge with 2 rifles.
Yeah, a little bit of damage done, but that's nice from 100 Thieves. They lose a couple players close. I like C9 on the re-entry there. They got a lot of value from the initiator utility to fight back hauls, but ultimately 100 Thieves just have great stall utility. You saw the molly first being thrown by Asna into just having the stars on the spike. Makes things very simple here in this post plant.
Nice, boys. Let's go. Beautiful.
Cryo finding that second kill at 10 HP makes it very hard for C9 to push up long.
Now early on, Oxy wants to get that AWP in his hands, sacrificing armor to have a glass cannon. Early a fight, but Penny is punished.
Yeah. Penny out of the game now. Zeppa trying to push up in his stead. Gravwell active. Zeppa's going to have to be satisfied with that, and it's enough to stave 100 Thieves away from this A main direction. And in terms of the rest of the map, they don't have a ton of purchase yet.
Vic is just jiggling right now off of that trip that is broken. That was really nice from Zeppa over in A main, able to find that trade. The Gravwell was well placed for him. So what is the move here from 100 Thieves? Looks like they want to pivot into this A split, and I like the maneuver from C9. They're trying to get space by fighting into A main. What can Vora do here? Will he just simply be caught?
This is really important positioning from Vora. Cloud9 can set up a pinch on the site with their rotators playing from Secret Flowers, but that requires Zelsis to win the fight here. Flash around the corner. Able to find Vora. He was completely blind to it.
That's a great little double swing from C9, but Asuna just spams through. And now Zeppa in a bit more of an uncomfortable situation. He's really going to need his teammates to be able to provide some noise, some cover for him to get something done. But 100 Thieves making the correct decision, pathing backside, flipping the map, and planting for Secret.
Zeppa now realizing he isn't going to get pushed onto by the remainders of these 100 Thieves players.
Yeah, because of that plan, they've basically made this Zeppa position worthless. It's no longer a flank. It's not a backstab. Everyone coming from the front for C9.
Null command timing from Arsenal. They want to get in and shut down any of this. Retake Util. Around the corner, a little lob there of that fragment, but it's going to be Zeppa finding his 3rd of the round. Cloud9 up on the spike here, of course. Gravwell would have made it an issue. It's up to Bang. Time is short. Time of the essence. And it's not on the side of C9. Tail between the legs, Oxy walks off.
I think Oxy died because he went for that last shot, trying to kill Bang as well, so the AWP is gone. I think if he didn't go for that, he would have narrowly escaped.
You're right. He does not have it to hand. Insult to injury. I'm sure he gets an ult orb.
100 Thieves there really playing the map well. Flipping it here, and again, with Asna and Bang alive, much like that round we just saw him be, they have a lot of stall coming through for the post plant. First it's that molly, and yeah, even though C9 were getting the kills towards Secret, Bang is just relaxed over in Flowers at the same time, has the Gravwell ready to go. That's super well done.
This is early.
100 Thieves are making some great decisions here.
Early timeout for Cloud9. I mean, just to bring us back to how that round went. It looked like in the post-fire, 100 Thieves would be relatively well set up with 2 players over in A main, but one dies to Arsena spraying just through the smoke. And at that point, 100 Thieves can sort of set up in that backside, make a retake impossible because their Astra's still in the game. And frankly, the rotate into the site from C9 was pretty late.
Yeah, for C9, we're going to need to see them not get baited into too many really big rotates, because this 100 Thieves team, they will commit to late round massive like 3-4 player pivots off of one extremity, getting to the other and trying to get into fast hits. Like we saw that on that anti-bonus round where they drew everybody away from that B site and they were able to get it for free completely.
100 Thieves working the map extremely well on this attack site. This early fight in A main always seems to be kind of pivotal though. We saw the 0 point thrown in there. Suppression enough to give C9 a foothold. Oh, wow. That is a big one. Oxy pushing up out of mid for this.
A real chance there for Oxy. On a kind of a classic chamber spot. You have the TP back towards the connector. But Timo's just way too fast. A really stunning entry player for this team.
I feel like it's hard enough to beat 100 Thieves in these rounds, even if you get the first pick, given the way they work the map. Now, 100 Thieves are ahead. The plant's been delayed, of course, by the guided salvo. Zeppa makes sure of that, but there's only a couple classics and stingers in the mix for the defenders.
Yeah, this one should be good as done. I mean, 100 Thieves just playing the long angles with the rifles, and there shouldn't really be a hope in the world for C9 at this point. I mean, I think they're questioning if they even want to go for this or just die to spike at this point. See if someone from 100 Thieves over pushes, but that's not going to happen.
Yeah.
They're just going to play the long. Well, actually, I say that, but 100 Thieves are going forward, so maybe some guns will be lost here.
0 point there. Quite illuminating.
These guys want to get their ults. They're both one orb away, Cryo and Teemo, so
dangerous.
They don't care if they live or die right now.
All right, flashes out here. Cryo's going to find his second. Ends up being a 2-for-2 trade, but again, extra ult orbs to 100 Thieves, and C9 will make sure they perish to the spike. That was after a C9 timeout, but we're likely to see the fruits of that sidebar in this round.
100 Thieves' economy is definitely not out of control, but they feel like it was worth it enough to have the evolution and the convergent paths coming into this round. And I can't blame them, because as you just mentioned, this is the C9 out of timeout buy round where they have significant ults of their own, so 100 Thieves really want to have every tool available to them. Looks like they want to just go for a fast B play here. Convergent paths onto the site, or Nightfall, maybe even combo them, or try to save one for the post plant. We'll see.
They've got to be mindful, of course, that null command is up, but for the defenders, it's a bit awkward. Xel'Sys has to be reactive with its use.
Now that deep flash and haunt will get 100 Thieves a very free walk up on the pillar.
Okay, Convergent Pass also going to be committed to this fight. Timotino gets into Hall. Xel'Sys playing him with the smokes for the time being, but he is suppressed. He was noted earlier. Timo probing for him. Not able to find him through the smokes, and so Xel'Sys gets out of the sight.
Both Convergent Paths and Nightfall used right now. Cryo's able to capitalize and get one kill. The push off the Prowler.
That's too good, man. Zeppa, you're going to have to do more to get the better of him in that situation. Or even though in numbers. Null command active, Xel'Sys preparing for a retake.
Look at this crossfire, though. Bang ready to swing from Lankenfor up close.
Oh, the flash was huge. Penny couldn't see the wood for the trees. And now it's on Xel'Sys, 55 health. Not a breath in his lungs. Big round for 100 Thieves to win. A swing round in this first half.
So much proactivity from them after getting the spike down, despite having used all of their ultimates just to get into the site. I like that fight towards Link. It's timed with Bang, who was the lone man going through mid-late. And 100 Thieves here definitely gave more than enough of a distraction for him to just get that free backstab kill. And at that point, you can just see on the minimap that C9 have an insane challenge ahead of them because they're walking into like a triple crossfire setup, basically. C9 still enough for a buy here with Oxy having the ultimate available. Penny as well just has a judge, so this is still super winnable for them.
But this is going to be quite telling because Cloud9 have got no interest in fighting for main this round. There's no presence, not even a single player. So how does this inform the rest of this 100 Thieves round? Because they've got this pretty important piece of real estate essentially for free, but are they thinking about the push-up of Art or another chamber push-up Link?
Well, that drone will confirm to C9 that the space they had no interest in has been taken for free. Now, does Cryo want to activate earlier in mid or really bide his time for 100 Thieves execute? I mean, it seems like that's going to be the plan. Maybe Bang going to send out the wall during this execute, Cosmic Divide to come down. Ooh, I like that flash over top into the Prowler. Teemo is right in there.
He's ahead of so much of this Astra utility as well, White. He's found himself a pocket to play through.
C9 have vacated the site. Look at how layered these executes are from 100 Thieves.
Yeah, the Haunt just cleared Secret. So Timo knows full well that there's no one over towards that dugout direction. And I mean, Xel'Sys doesn't see a whole lot. Here's the Tour de Force though getting involved. Oxy's posted up on a pretty sharp line. And Zeppa gets again, finds a clever kill. Falling back over towards this mid-direction now. He's going to have his hands full in a moment. The 100 Thieves are slowed up. Zeppa low, Tour de Force. Oh, Dark League stuff for Oxy. It's a little bit too close to the sun, and there is Bang. Always critical in these late round moments. Penny has it all to do. Jump peek punish, Cryo is low. Penny can't have this. But Cryo's not about that life. It's a 3-round gap opened up.
What a great setup from 100 Thieves. They get all of their players.
Two layers of like strike hit utility there.
Yeah, and then after the fact in the post plant, they're able to get 3 players over towards Art with the spike planted for them in Art.
Dude, the grapple is so nasty.
Wow, the second shot. Oh, I mean, Bang is going crazy right
He
now.
played off his own util so well.
Now, he's one player on 100 Thieves who is no stranger to qualifying for international events anymore after making it to all of them with Sen.
But these are not good signs from the coaching booth for Cloud9. Suffice to say, things have not gone to plan at all so far. It's just a Vandal for Roxy.
Watcher expired.
Yeah, this 100 Thieves team are looking so well drilled. A real unit right now.
Okay, Cryer can cross-cut away just in time as the relay bolts came for him. And he's going around the world with those TPs.
Right out to safety. Hero rifle for Oxy over on this B side. Because he was using the ult in the previous round, he can afford to try and be a hero.
And that was probably Cloud9's best chance to get a catch on an isolated individual in the round. Now the Cryers return to the fold. 100 Thieves are grouped up maybe to muscle their way back into main. It's only Zephyr in attendance.
Yeah, Zephyr had only seen Cryo, so that doesn't really change much as far as
Bro just saw God.
the information.
Down to 30.
Yeah, Oxy trying to get some of this space, but is going to eventually run into the trip.
Yeah, no present through mid-connector, so you can easily A-split from here. Might be the move. You can also split, go Art.
C9 are making the right call. They're getting players over towards the A side, but they're still just undergunned right now.
Depp is trying to find an elegant place to play from, but this gets harder and harder now as 100 Thieves get closer. Hammer approaches Anvil. Zephyr at 30 in the corner. They've been looking for that every single time. Saturate there through the wall. Vic on the other side of the divide. He's about to meet the shorty. Mora still has his vision obscured. Sit in this tiny little pocket. And Bang is on the wraparound. This could be it. Oxy's going to have his back turned. That's the hero rifle being passed around. Bang sees it all! Every reality in which C9 could have found a way into this round just fizzles out of existence.
All of his flank timings have been perfect in the post class. C9 have in no situation been ready for him, and you have to credit the rest of the team with that as well. Maybe not so much on this round, but on some of the other ones, they've done a great job of setting him up with just creating so much chaos to be the late round closer.
But that flank is enabled by the fact that C9 so heavily invest players back towards Flower and Secret and don't have that art or that mid-connector presence whatsoever that late in the round.
Ox is going back to the well with the operator. It has not been dominant in the server.
All right, he's fallen in and needs Lassie.
100 Thieves are calling the rotate over towards this A side. No ultimates to play with right now for either team. Now, what if C9... What info have they gotten? What is guiding them to drag more rotates over to B? I'm not entirely sure. Penny had just made his way over there off that A site. Prowler now through.
Cryo, you imagine, is very wary for the presence of this chamber. Okay, not going to win it out this time. Oxy does his job. Now he's able to focus more on this A side because they know now that's where 100 Thieves are set up. Timo gets in a dugout. Set a Saturate ahead of him. Now Arsenault is going to be there for him to play off. Timely smoke, but that's going to be removed now and as it comes down. Zephyr again finds crucial involvement. And Oxy, with an op, is going to have to amble his way forward into a decent position, but Vora could be a problem.
Low HP, knows he needs to make a play, do something proactive. Has the Nightfall if he wants to even send that. I mean, that would be ridiculous to send from the flank, but...
He has the timing. It's perfect! All right, Zelsa's looking for it at the very least. This makes it a 1-for-1. But Bang gets to sit back. Clutch master this game on all of his post-plant util.
Old teammates from Sentinels of last year.
Oh, Zelsis! That's an important. Bro was already getting out of his seat. A very important round for C9 to win, but Bang has had the upper hand in many of those clutches this game, and that's kind of why the score's looking the way it is.
Bang just laughing it off there, pointing back at him. Obviously, those two, a lot of trials and tribulations last year playing with Sen, but a lot of success too, making it to all of the internationals together. Then, coincidentally, both going to teams that have struggled with that, and they're trying to get them back into that position. I think both of these teams really have made roster upgrades. They're on the right path, but at the same time, this Americas region has just become so competitive this year that they might end up being stalled out in the same kind of tier that they've been at in previous years.
That everyone else is leveling up, Wyatt. That's the reality.
It's a dangerous region right now. But Zelsa's picking up this IGL. He's trying his best to change that for Cloud9.
Drone is down.
There's an A-main triple face there for C9 that doesn't see anything from 100 Thieves. This time, they're the ones who aren't interested in that area of the map. Very quickly, though, into Art, and there's no util to see this coming.
Zelsa's on the move over towards that A side. 3 players from C9 attempting to anchor this.
I don't mind this, the attempt at a pincer setup here, but look at where Bang is set up. A late reflank of that A-main position could undo C9. Here's the Nightfall. Only catching Zeppa. Time to go. Nice little box spot there, taken up. That's obviously Timo in position. Vic speculating, wildly speculating through the smoke. Eventually down by Cryo, but Penny's tapped himself into this corner. Bang a little low on his activation. Can he find the frag? Yes. That's Penny down with the overdrive active. Now this Astro util gets to be brought into the fray. Zelsis is knocked. Zeppa, though, apparently with the wherewithal to bring him back up until Zelsis is knocked down again. Zeppa steps up, it's a shoot around a corner, classic with the right click. And again, yes, it's up to Bang for the umpteenth time this game. Nova Pulse, there needs to be follow-up though, that's not going to take him off the defuse, bait the shot, Bang needs to get wider. And again, he can't salvage the round for 100 Thieves.
I respect the idea, though, trying to stun onto the planter, isolate a 1v1, baits out the shot, but it's just perhaps a little bit too late, and the crosshairs slightly off. After, again, finding the timing, though, to go get that flank kill play from main, 100 Thieves have a pretty good post-plant setup. But with the crossfire, Timo decided to push forward. It looked like he wanted to fight a little more aggro. Maybe regretting that, because he does give up that position in Art.
Zeppa is having a fantastic game, and it's coming in these 1s and 2s, these really important frags under extreme pressure or in retake scenarios.
Does Oxy dare swing out of this one? They're all swinging out. What a shot.
Yep, they're going for it. Lots of targets to choose from here. If you'll see 900 Thieves also now had to fight for this position all along, and there's another swing. Oxy gets up on the line. And Cryo, he's out of the round now. Bang has to give account of himself in mid, but unfortunately it's a crossfire he's waddled into. So Arsena would have to take stock of things now. A decent amount of time left in the round. There are 3 C9 players at large, and he needs to change tack here.
Vic is going to obviously hear all of that. The KO footsteps. Kind of loud. The rest of the team rotating over. Doesn't even matter. Vic has the timing. That was a great little kill from Zelsis. He's definitely been getting a lot of critique, I think, earlier during this kickoff run for not putting up numbers as an individual. But as per the last series against Lev, it has felt like he's really started shooting. But regardless of that, his support play, I think, has been pretty standout, especially when he's on this KO. You can see it right now. He's putting up a lot of assists. He's got 11. He's leading the league right now in assists per round. He has just been a straight-up supportive player. And he's talked about wanting to be able to focus on that, not having to shoot people as his primary objective. Just IGL, support. He has 2 great duelists on his team to set up. I hear one of them playing Chamber, of course, but Penny has really added some firepower to this C9 squad that I think was much needed, but conversion paths coming through now. Timotino dashing in, Cosmic Divide as well, so C9 will be relegated to vacating this site. Looks like they want to take a timing to get back in off that flash.
Now, there's not a lot of armor around here. Vora is glass cannon, essentially. Great fragment from Zelsis. That really slows up that advance into halls. But now the fighting is going to get messy up on the site. Cryo doesn't check his right, and Vic has a shorty of his own.
He might be going for a little bit too much there. Evolution kept him alive in the midst of the Armageddon, but maybe overplaying his hand and regretting it. Bang, in another late round situation, facing down 2 players, but Vic with the jump through can't connect those phantom shots.
Oh, geez, Vic so mindful of this situation that just a little peek would have been enough. 4 kills for Vic out of the round. Then honestly, C9 with some excellent stall util to buy themselves time.
Honestly, this feels a little reminiscent of the 100 Thieves half against EG from last week on their attack haven, where things were looking so good for them. And then very late into it, starting to lose a couple rounds. And that was still a more dominant scoreline for 100 Thieves at the end of that one. But they've given the other team an in. Because I think in a couple of these last rounds, they had themselves in position to close them out.
Let's go, boys!
But made mistakes that C9 were able to exploit. able to even this up.
Cloud9 finally back in the game. 4 rounds strung together at the end of the first half of Pearl to make it real interesting. So don't go too far. Much more from this series after this.
Can I help you, sir?
Here's the bill from the dealership where I got my car, and I'd like you to beat it with a better deal on one of these fine cars.
Not how it works.
Guess you're not as cool as Verizon.
Bring in your AT&T or T-Mobile bill for a better deal today.
Jimmy of C9 literally had his head in his hands at the start of this first half. And you've got a lot on your shoulders. You're going up against a previous world champion coach in NBS. And you could see the frustration as Cloud9 started the game pretty well, right? They win the pistol. You know, they don't win the bonus. It's fine, but Dan, it's brutal. 100 Thieves are just dragging them around the map. And without any real coach intervention in the later half of that first half, Cloud9 stabilized. They find their footing. Zeppa looks good. Zelsis in the clutch has been excellent too.
I'm curious to see in this second half specifically what 100 Thieves have in store with Cryo on the veto. He was playing the chamber and he was farming, but they've still decided to switch him over towards this agent, an agent that they have heavily indexed in. They definitely believe in his place in the meta currently, and they've obviously had success with him elsewhere. So even though they even though they won their last match 13-2 with him on chamber getting, I think, 27 kills, they still want to switch it up.
I always wonder if it's like, do you just want an agent that doesn't care about Armageddon? Has some more maybe stall elements to the kit? This has slowed down C9. Obviously, Interceptor has been turned on.
Cryo does have to be concerned about multiple angles, but the awareness is keen and the shots accurate on to Oxy.
Looks like Oxy's a little early there.
With 100 Thieves, they don't mind giving up this site. I mean, yeah, you're right. There wasn't really a pure timing for him.
Oh no, that's dangerous. Yeah, swinging out in sync.
Yeah, lined up. Also, they're still just waiting to pop flash out of here. Hasn't needed to because C9 is walking into Cryo. Any second now, this flash is coming.
Yeah, all of those angles that you said Cryo had to watch, now. He has dominated. So Penny spotted out, suppressed, and looking pretty lonely.
Ah, the flash came from Austin.
Oh, the knife. Really, brother.
Hell no.
As an IGL at that, okay.
Yep. Young Boosty with the knife. Crazy. Oh, Cryo just completely dominated C9. And you're right, that was a really early push from Oxy. There wasn't any pressure onto Cryo at the moment. Just
I had no bullets, I promise.
I don't believe you, dude. I don't believe you, man.
Replay?
Oh, heads back in hands.
Heads back in hands, yep.
Again, like, you know, Imi says, the players have to think about it one game at a time. I've got to think about the bigger picture today. I've got to think about how our map draft's supposed to go. I've got to think about the condition of the players through what could be, Christ, 8 maps of Valorant. That's a lot, man.
C9, time to keep it simple. They are just running it down on B, and they're going to see if Penny can get in someone's face with the shorty. That is the meta game, but no, not going to happen. They will at least seemingly get a plant.
Jeez, this range, Timo does not care. He's walking.
Sure.
Okay, he's walking and he's killing.
Refracts away, but 2 kills. Now, Cloud9, of course, once again, not bothering to invest heavily into a round that does feature the Outlaws. We've now just discovered. They do not have much to say for themselves here at all. Defuse for Bang, and we'll be off to round number 15. Yeah.
Yeah, no, they're... All right, we'll hunt them down.
I assume that they want to, they want to go, right? Okay.
Get a couple orbs, why not? I am interested to see what Cryo's going to have set up with the teleport specifically going around, because, I mean, it is chamber light with the teleports. They're not as good as the chamber TP when you're trying to op at all, because they're just slow.
It's just super nice because the interceptor stops fragment, and it also stops a guided salvo, right? So that space denial for defenders can be negated. Makes it a bit more comfortable up on the side. He's actually playing through mid here, so you can see where that crosscut is set up just to allow him to fall back.
I like this from 100 Thieves. They still have the judge. Get up close with him.
Okay, Vora left out to dry. Timo refracts back.
Great stun.
They're in after him as well. Penny with that burst of pace now. Timo standing inside a guy to Salvo's got no choice. He literally had no choice.
That was a great sequence of utility from C9. They dismantled that forward play. Okay, Bang long range with the Singer. Why not? 4 bullets. Okay. Zealous is isolated on account of the Molly. Cryo, what is happening?
Oxy and Vic now with it all to do. You can see in this post plant, though, Oxy just wants to be about his business. Fair enough. He and Vic clean up the round. One that looked like it could have snuck away from them.
They completely stabilized that. I can't believe 100 Thieves made that so close. C9 had a really excellent assault into that site that started with A main, the pop flash out, multi-swing. They forced Timo back. Vor is isolated. This was all great.
Yeah, love this.
And then when they pressure onto Timo, they have the perfect missiles for him backside. They're fast onto the execute, but...
Some really nice pop flashes back onto the side for us, and it kind of sets it up, and it looked like Zephyr wanted to over-push into the back of that A side, got caught.
All good, though. They have the stable hands of Vic and Oxy. Cryo pushed up alone right now.
Can cross-cut away. Interceptor in play. That is scary. Pardon the Tigger impression. You don't see that all that often. Dirty stuff from Cryo. Picked up 2. Obviously, Zelsis is able to be dragged to his feet and sent out again.
Picked up 2. He wouldn't have been able to leave because of the ult. Again, just like, you're so slow to teleport. Turn around, find it, hit the button, like slowly vaporize and get over there. Like, he can't get out with a null command. So.
Again, and that is something we talked about, this switch over towards the veto for 100 Thieves on this map. It ate all those flashes coming around the corner.
I like this on the opposite side of the map, though, from Asuna. It throws that early knife, and then with all the action in A main, just takes the space. So 100 Thieves can readjust to heavily focusing on A, leave Timo to just watch the potential of the sewer flank, because with Cryo down, there's a trip down. You know, but ultimately, they'll be very ready for this A execute when it does come in.
And they're aware now. We've had 3 stars deployed.
And by the way, when it does come in, Vora could throw a haunt. They could try to spam onto the planter, seize the planter. There's going to be so much annoying util here.
Okay, the timing of that sends it over to Art, and there's a bit of spray.
Unless he just goes down to the spam himself.
Yeah, probably just needs to put a lid on it for the time being. Timo could find a timing to punish the planter. Vora, again, still speculating. So no risk of those traces being picked up. The Phantom, but still... Here's Asuna. Eventually wraps around. Pretty decent timing for Asuna. Pretty easy kill. And out on Zelsis, who has a wrap of his own. Vora dealt with, but he was very low. 12 health now. Fragment's going to keep Zelsis out of the fight. This flash is really just smoke and mirrors. Just bluff and bluster. And there's 100 Thieves racking up their 9th.
Like, both of these KOs have been throwing out some great util throughout this game. Honestly.
Yeah, they have like space denial. They have, you know, retake util or like fast hit stuff. We saw the flash out of the smoke with 4 players in A main from C9. Plenty of flavor here.
Again, though, from Cryo. Perfect little spray down. Easy crosshair placement. That multi-swing just completely denied.
Yeah, that's something you got to be very careful of. That seems like it's been the bread and butter of C9 is, you know, just spending that initiator util quite heavily to forcibly take A main control. Veto obviously makes it much harder. We'll see how that influences their early rounds if they want to lean heavily in that direction, or as we've seen in the past, 100 Thieves, for example, like to work down that art a little bit more. Leave A main alone, threaten a split through the map, through connector, maybe towards B.
It really has, you know, made this 100 Thieves seem so much more versatile that they have Cryo and Asuna being able to flex around so much. I mean, Asuna could always play the KO, even going way back in the day when he started playing the flex role with this team. It was always one of his better initiator agents, if not, I think his best personally.
Sure.
But just having him back on that role, having Cryo flexing around, and then opening up the opportunity to get a young star duelist in this team in Timotino, I think it was all the right moves. They have a great coaching staff around them. But even still, like we were saying, this is just such a hyper-competitive Americas going up against maybe the best Cloud9 that we've seen in years. Just returning to form, bringing in their old friends who have been leveling up as players.
It is two teams, though, that are really putting their trust in those cores, right? Cryo, Bang, Arsenal.
Always trying to beat the Nepo allegations. Trying to get into the safe side right now, though. Vora, wow, dispatched by the Stinger.
Play. I love that from you, Wyatt. It is Penny's mowing Vora down.
But am I wrong? That's the A storyline for them.
Who can say?
That is the A storyline. I'm not saying it's a Nepo baby team. I'm saying that's what people say, bitch.
Who's people? That's crazy. All right, Zelsa's going to be able to skitter back over towards that art direction. It is 100 Thieves that are working their way pretty quickly, honestly, into the site. Also, this crosscut util, there might be something there to that. If Cryo can ever make use of it. Nice, saturate though, flash to try and deter. Around the corner, come on, 100 Thieves and Arsena knocks Oxy's and Zelsa's heads together. This grab well is going to be mostly ignored. As 100 Thieves have the numbers, but Zeppa's able to peer in from main.
They still haven't gone into half, though.
Half now. Vic, yeah, he would have had to kill Cryo instantly. Not to be.
It was a great retake from 100 Thieves. I like that decision from them to isolate Art completely. Util combo thrown in there with the saturate into the flash. They pop out through that nebula together. That was really nicely done. They just have to cut off one part of that crossfire. And main is too far away. It's going to be difficult to get over there and make that happen. And then the Art player's canceling. So this is just the right decision.
You can see kills from. You can see with the temptation.
Nice, man. My team is so good, bro. I'm actually shutting out.
You can see why C9 have had the temptation to push into the back of that A side to get further, because they play on the extremities like that. They're so subject to being cleared by those util combos.
Well, that early knife connects onto everyone, but 100 Thieves don't care. They still take that space in A main. Ooh, Cryo in some real danger. Doubled up, though, with Bang, the two players that if I'm C9, I really don't want to be running into, anchoring a site right now. But that still might inevitably be the case as they posture for this B split.
Now there's going to be some real pressure on Cryo, but unlike the pistol, Cloud9 are likely going to be able to find a timing here to punish the Veto player in that spot.
Oh, his paths could be insane. It looks like he's setting up for it.
Yeah, Timo's able to retake that Plaza control now. Prowler going towards mid. This is going to get ugly. Cryo tucked in the corner. He knows he's going to get attention out of Connector. Slow from C9, staggered, belated, but eventually they touch down on this B side of the map. Convergent pass hits, not in particular from Timo. He's going to be cut off the play because of this cosmic divide, and C9 will get their plant down.
Yeah, they just have to wait this wall out. Austin, no flash right now. They can't pop through it. Suppress at least get some info, likely back hauls. They're going to know about that, but it's not like they wouldn't have expected a player to be there anyhow, and they don't even have a time to get in while anyone is suppressed.
Yeah, you're told there's 4 players on the site. That's not really telling you much of the story. Here's the cosmic divide coming down now from 100 Thieves, ideally to try and lock Halls out of the game. Bang sees Zeppa swing his way, and Cloud9 get themselves a really important round, hoping it's not too late.
No, and it certainly may not be. I thought we were going to see the sickest conversion pass from Timoteo after they spotted Vic in mid, pushed him into Link, and he dashed to the right. I thought he was going to send it straight down Link, and they were going to try to fight that together through mid, but I think he was a little scared of the play towards A. He ends up going back through Connector, and with all of that delay of, the rotates kind of getting there to assist 100 Thieves, they're just swamped on the site. Cryo can't hold alone. All right, both players here from 100 Thieves in main were spotted up by that knife. Timo still wants to fight. He can't get out.
He could have walked back there, but there's no chance to refract after being hit by the 0 point. So he's giving his life up pretty cheaply there, Wyatt. And all of Cloud9 say, whoa.
Yeah, what a
slow it down.
Massive risk. They just extracted a bunch of utility as well from 100 Thieves. Is this going to be an instant recommit, though? Spot Asuna outplaying towards Art. There are 300 Thieves players here ready to anchor. No, it's patience right now.
It's just a refresh of the Nebula for Bang, who currently is across the map and is unsure if he needs to join the rest of his team because of this noise cut.
C9 will have a decent amount of utility to get in here. Penny can still throw up that fast lane, try and cut off some angles. The stars are coming down. There's that missile to clear out Secret. Zelsis with a flash. They have enough tools to get in here for sure.
Vora tries to horn in. Cryo. Could have been a timing there. Surely he's heard this action. Okay, suppression on the side. That's 100 Thieves with a 0 point now. Vora tucked.
And Zeppa is just so scared. Tries to bait out the spam. Wow, is this going to be a late round pivot from C9? This is really nice, and Oxy even catches out Vora. A slight delay from this trip. Honestly, that might allow 100 Thieves to get the timing. Look at this rotate. Cryo, he was able to teleport back halls.
13 seconds left in the round. Cryo will be lying in wait. He's low, but he stopped the plant. There's got to be more, though. Another layer here as Zelsis is about to get this spike active. Penny low, steps up, and slaps Cryo down. Means that it would all be on Arsena, and he does not have the coin to risk it.
Wow, 100 Thieves could have put themselves in position. I mean, they did put themselves in position to steal that round away because Cryo is able to rotate with the teleport back into halls over on B. That was really sick.
I was expecting a pump fake again for C9 back towards the A side. Especially after Oxy catches Vora, yeah.
But yeah, Bang wasn't able to capitalize, unfortunately, for 100 Thieves getting out of heaven. C9 are really wrangling this game back. Money for 100 Thieves very bad after this round 2.
And that's kind of the potential, I think, of Vito, is that you can traverse the map such that you can almost lock down both sites at the same time. He was there to catch the planter. Could have been something there for sure.
Yeah, this early round, it was a little peculiar, though, from 100 Thieves with that suppressed catching onto Teemo. Tries to stay fighting in main, but the timing's a little off. That flash from Osno a little late, so he didn't have the gun out ready to actually get a trade. Just some disconnection there with Teemo and Osno, which is typically not the case. I feel like that duo have had some great synergy to get them to this point in the bracket. But a moment of error there is exploited by C9.
I think Teemo probably feels like he's dead either way. If he tries to turn his back and get back onto the A side, he's probably going to get shot there. But the suppression of that 0 point early in the round is really relevant when you consider that Waylay wants to post these aggressive angles for free and then get off them with Refract.
So NBS getting into that timeout. Doombros with him as well. All-star coaching staff, imported from Europe, not gonna lie.
I had a great chat with NBS actually at the TENS awards show, and he moved his whole life, family, everything over to LA. Big move for him. Obviously, he's from Lithuania. We used to watch him coaching challenges, and it was like 3 a.m. You know what I mean? He's sitting in his sort of living room, everything's dark, and he's still chasing that dream. Of course, he was the head coach for Ascend when they won that World Championship. This guy's resume is immense. If you've never heard of him, well, that stops now. And then Doombros, of course, is...
Yeah, massive resume as well. Yeah. Which is why it was so
FPX,
shocking.
Na'Vi, you know what I mean? These guys are a tour de force of coaching staff.
Yeah, the only way to get Doombros as an assistant coach is to get a Champions winner coach to be the head coach.
That's right.
I mean, it's the only trump card for that man.
All the coaches here are European. Just putting it out there.
Yeah, he's had a hell of a storied career, which is why it was such a shock that he didn't have a team to coach for a bit of time last year, but obviously deserves this spot. All right, 100 Thieves, they have that one rifle for Teemo, and basically just sheriffs across the board for the rest of the team, stacked up over on B, and this gamble might just pay off. This could be deadly for C9 if they execute into this, haphazardly.
I don't think he's showing nothing except the interceptor now. Cryo poise. Oh, buddy. Okay, Tim is able to receive. Penny, you try to get him with the overdrive. That's a gun instantly scooped up by Cryo. Cloud9 surely thumbing the cancel button here.
Yeah, they absolutely have to, but they don't know if there could be players from 100 Thieves pushed out of the other extremities, pushed all the way out mid, someone watching behind them. I mean, obviously they know that trip that no one is pushed into B main, but it's an attempt to re-clear from Vic, Zeppa, who are back in their spawn, and Zelsis and Oxy are just waiting over on this B side, hoping that maybe someone will push up into them, they can get a free kill. But 100 Thieves are just playing a great crossfire right now with Team Atino ready to swing off of them.
This re-clear is very illuminating. There's not really enough time here.
Down to 25 seconds. The two players are slow right now to get through Link. Zelsis has a flash to try and pop out of this nebula.
Cloud9 at least can set up a split here. That's something Vora has to be extremely keenly aware
there
of.
Are 15 seconds and they have to break a triple man crossfire here. 4 players here.
Cryo's evolved as well. It's going to be tough to bring down. Vora finds Vic in that corner. Oxy's got to commit fully. early, and he is low. 26 points of health, and this could be the game right here. Foxy doesn't save it. Oh, no. Forced off the plant, the final seconds, and that is a gut punch of a Thrifty to lose to 100 Thieves.
C9 just played that mid-round so slowly, trying to re-clear back through spawn, slow through mid. They don't know where a 100 Thieves player could be hiding, and then ultimately they just have to rush into that site where 100 Thieves has been sitting on this crossfire the entire time. They had 3 players there for a minute. I didn't even realize they got the 4th there in time too. I understand the frustration from Imi and the
probably
why.
asking, like, why? I mean,
yeah.
I think the mid-rounding needs to be looked at there a little bit. But we don't have time for that. We're on to round 21.
All right, Operator for Timotino on defense, going up against Oxy's Tour de Force. Opposite sides of the map right now, though, so we won't be seeing any kind of op v op battle. Right now for 100 Thieves, it's just kind of light hold towards B.
Yeah, Arsenal obviously can slow this down with a fragment to stop the flood into B. So there's a lot of stall util between him and the Astra of Bang, who again has had a fantastic game. All right, Null Command active. This is for Cloud9, but they've kind of showed their hand a little bit. Vora has a Nightfall as well. Should there be a retake necessity? Oh, Bang! That's pretty dirty. Penny on the slide, brought down. Arsena. Here's a lot of footsteps through this smoke and gives Zephyr a bit of breathing room, enough that he can win out against the shotgun-toting player.
That was some crazy aim against Zephyr. I can't believe he snapped to that. It was a real Arsena aim moment, honestly.
Yeah.
All right, Cryo now into this 1 versus 3.
Celsius with a casual 20 assists.
He's going to go for it. He has no cash left after this. The 100 Thieves bank is not looking good at all, so he might just want to save in this position rather than try to go for it. Despite winning that eco round, 100 Thieves did only get away with 1 rifle, so it's not that stimulus to the economy that you typically see. The loss here has already just got them back onto another eco.
Yeah, and with Cloud9 being willing to invest the...
And Imi will be praying that they don't play out like that last round. Do not get eco'd again.
All right. Oh, hop, skip, and a jump there for Oxy. 3 for him on the round. So now we are a very close game. 10 plays 11. And 100 Thieves have gotten to their own Null Command this round. If Arsenal could find a timing to, again, stop a fast hit. Tour de Force very well appointed in this round. Arsenal cleverly here actually gives space. He almost realizes he's at risk of being shorted if he plays inside that smoke.
Let's go, baby.
A grim determination for Cloud9. It's been a long climb, honestly, and I said this to you in the makeup room. I said this could be scrappy, this could be muddy. And these 2 teams are brawling.
Oxy sitting at 21 kills right now, by the way. He is really playing well. Has definitely filled in for Demon 1 in the exact way
okay. That's crazy.
What, he had Demon 1's been like 27 kills, 37 kills on this map.
He's filled in for Demon 1?
Yeah, he's filling in for Demons 1 shoes on this map, bro. What are you talking about? It's really not crazy. It's literally the truth. Like, he's playing the chamber here.
Yeah, this recent shift for him over towards those Sentinels has definitely seemed to work so far.
They're just B-stacked again, by the way. Just same thing as the last eco round. C9 will not be going to be this time.
Yeah, the intuition for Cloud9 at least has developed somewhat over the course of this map. However, 100 Thieves, when it comes to the retake, obviously don't have great weapons for it and unlikely to really leverage a lot of these ultimates. So I do like to see Cloud9 being very careful this time around. I'm sure that was by design. Cryo needs to get out of there, of course. We'll see 100 Thieves attempt to retake with very little.
C9 not even bothering to get that orb in main, by the way. They were just rather playing it silent, not make any noise, and just suddenly hit into the site. And with the plant, Zeppo was still able to get that arm again anyhow, so doesn't really matter all too much.
Smokes up here for 100 Thieves to cross into this art direction. No spam, good patience from Vic. Cloud9 simply containing. Will saturate there. Roxy, those found his. That's the way laid down. Here's Gravwell. Oh, clever. Oh, the body block. No, you can't be serious. What am I watching? 100 body block to keep the diffuser proximate enough to the spike to not be interrupted. Get out of here with that, man. Come on.
they can't be winning the game like this. They can't be winning the game like this. 2 ecos. This one way more absurd than the last one. No one able to spam onto it.
Let's go.
Everyone from C9 was so far back.
Oh my God. Oh no, I really wanted to see that in my reaction. I feel very disenfranchised right now. Okay. Deep breath. 100 Thieves poised to end the map. How do you recover from that in the space between rounds if you're C9?
They're pushing right into Cryo's setup. That Nightfall is going to stall them out in main. Connects onto 3 players. And that's going to give time for 100 Thieves to try and rotate over as well. They don't want to overcommit to the rotate. You see on the top of the minimap. But C9 are going to re-hit off the armor cannon. That will send Cryo running away back towards Secret.
Vora, those already in there. This is such a big... Ah, he's going to find more! Surely not! 2 for Vora. Cryo, though, is brought down. He tries to enter the side, but Timo is pushed up. With the AWP of all things, there's no reflank pressure for 100 Thieves. It's all from backside, and Timo falters. Zepp is still healthy enough to keep fighting. Bang only gets his one. And so Arsena flashes himself out, sees the Cosmic Divide in the way, knows there's going to be post-plant hijinks, but there's no choice but they go for it. The Cosmic Divide means that they have to body check this. Arsena. Time. Definitely has some, gets into half. Vic has to swing off this though.
Nice knowing you.
I think he's done enough. I think Vic has done enough. Arsena can only give it a tickle.
Ice cold from Vic. Oh my God, he didn't peek that at all. He didn't give Arsena a shot, even at the wide angle.
And look, you don't know. You can't hear the spike tap with Cosmic Divide in play. You're not sure how far along he is in the defuse.
That was genuinely insane from Vic. At that timing on the swing for the second kill was really nice too, and he had the kill against Cryo, who took that isolated fight walking up towards Secret. I mean, you could see from Austin's point of view, Vic just gave him nothing, no chance of a kill there.
Vic may have been positioned on the same side of the Cosmic Divide in that corner to have heard the defuse tap, but still. Okay, big round for C9 to win, massive.
After that one, damn near every ult is out of play except for Timotino having the convergent paths.
Slow start after that A main take. We have Timo virtually cosplaying as the chamber pushed up in that connector position, but he's got a Bucky to hand.
Yeah, the weaponry definitely not ideal. 100 Thieves in this last round is C9, desperate to get to overtime on their map pick of Pearl. Pivoting over towards this B side where Vic has just been containing for any potential push, but it's rather passive from Cryo on the angle with the Guardian.
The Outlaw is nice in this round, Wyatt. There's a lot of value to be found.
Yeah, he knows he has to drop. Too many potential angles. Someone from C9 could have swung onto him with the missiles.
He didn't turn on his interceptor.
It was just too late throwing it out there.
No, he was right in front of him, I think, on the other side of the box.
Anyhow, I mean, regardless, 100 Thieves had popped the convergent paths, trying to get back over into B. Expecting that C9 would just be in there, but Oxy has just been chilling on A, so they get into the site for free. Spike is a little late though, 22 seconds.
Oh, Penny!
What a kill.
And that was really important from that position. Bang can do a lot of harm. C9 yet to plant, about to make that happen right now. It's a swing. Oxy! There it is, the Outlaw. Stings! And it looks like they've done enough to secure an overtime in this game. They've answered the challenge 100 Thieves have laid down with some unbelievable 100 Thieves defense side rounds. We're going to extra time.
Chaotic last round. The C9 are just able to exploit some strange little mistakes from 100 Thieves there to get the advantage. And then play back over towards Oxy on that A side. Free site exec. What a kill for Penny there as well. I was sick.
It's got to make you a little bit nervous here.
Shot.
I mean, again, we have only 2 players, I think, in full armor in this round. So just a really nice time for this Outlaw to shine.
Yeah, Oxy is actually a beast right now, 25 kills.
And Zepp has been chugging along. Again, each of these important rounds, he's good for 2.
He's got 20 assists as well. That's crazy.
Okay. So this, of course, sees 100 Thieves go back onto the attack side now. 0 point likely just to scout out A main from both sides.
And Oxy on defense is posted up with the operator towards A main. And it looks like he wants to do more than just get posted up. He wants to take a lot of space so C9 can have a good rotate over towards that B side. And they could try to defend this. They've got enough players in the vicinity. They've got enough util for sure as well. Zeppa could really stall things out, playing that close up, having the missile stun, everything ready to go.
There's not going to be any upper presence right now for the defenders on B. So we're a ways off of that, and that's going to allow the dive in there. Okay, Timo's in a really powerful spot. The hindrance, oh, it's perfect. Timo's found himself too. Now with the shorty in hand, he's looking to scour the rest of the site, but it's clear for now of defenders.
That's an outrageous play from Timo. His entering ability has just been fantastic for 100 Thieves in this run.
Zelsis, snappy stuff. She takes the only anchored player in the site for the attackers out. That is planted for long anyway. There's the horn. Arsena comfortably can play off of that. And yeah, okay, Malcolm in, sure. Arsena's done enough in this round. Zelsis in no position to properly defuse this now. Too many players waiting in the wings to spring forth, and he knows that he doesn't really have any way to rattle them out of those positions. That'll be that. 100 Thieves, once again, are one away.
Sick execute there. They had to deal with a lot of defensive util coming through from Cloud9, but it just was not enough. I need to see that Timo play on the replay.
Yeah, Timo avoids most of it.
So nice.
There's no one in heaven. So he simply drops down with a big saturate.
That's your classic pathing as the waylay on the B execute, getting up into heaven, but then just looking to the right, spotting the one player, throws it down. But connects onto two. That was really sick. He's been so good. Arguably, if not inarguably, the best waylay player right now in Americas.
He has put in the hours. Okay, so this time, it's 100 Thieves who want that A main presence. That's penetration. Okay, ends up being a 1-for-1 here, but still, lots of space that'll have to be potentially re-cleared by C9, and already 100 Thieves are responding to a potential play through Art.
This is so nice. Oh, Austin's getting off that play, was ready to throw a pop flash off the trip here.
I think they were worried about a fast A main retake from C9.
Now, Cryo, yeah, he's ready to just teleport over towards Secret when this action comes in. And there he goes. Gets right onto the spam line, but wow, in the stun. He's in some serious danger if C9 try to take this more aggro.
It's being planted for. Zelsis on the very edge of the box. KO store utility is expired. Zelsis with a bit of an odd location for this.
Trying to avoid the spam.
It's worked out. They can still cover that from A main. There's no backstab pressure for 100 Thieves in that main side. Well, there might be soon.
Yeah, look at Bang right now on this long lurk. He's had some sick backstabs in this game. Won out a lot of post plants for 100 Thieves.
His timing is good enough, I feel. Zelsis is going to get caught out, and Parallel might have had a piece of him anyway. That's the Art pressure dealt with. Now it's the post plant util, and here's Cryo getting ahead of it. Vora once again snaps up to it. 100 Thieves are done enough, finally, to shake loose of the grip of Cloud9. The money hands retreat back to the quagmire. And first map of the series goes to the Thieves.
Was C9's pick stolen away by 100 Thieves in really close fashion. Cloud9 coming back into things in that first half when it looked like 100 Thieves might have just dominated them the entire way through.